Hello viewers, welcome to EduTube, your school support educational channel where you can learn and relearn everything. In this series, 50 Commandments in English Language, we dive deep into the essential rules and tips to improve your English proficiency. Whether you are a student, a teacher, or just a native or non-native speaker looking to refine your English proficiency and comprehensively understand the grammatical technicalities of the use of the language, you are in the right place. Before we dive deep into today's lesson, please kindly click on the subscription button below this video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning subscriber who has subscribed to our channel already, we say a big thank you for your love and support always. I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. So in our previous lesson, we stopped at commandment number 26, and in this lesson, we are proceeding to commandment number 27. Without wasting any more of our time, what does commandment number 27 say? It states that do not start a sentence with object pronouns nor reflexive pronouns. Do not start a sentence with object pronouns nor reflexive pronouns. So what are the key words we will need to delineate in this commandment? We are going to try and delineate object pronouns and reflexive pronouns. So what are an object pronoun? Or what are object pronouns? Object pronouns are pronouns that function as a receiver of an action. Remember, in our previous lesson, we talked about subject, which we said they are the performer or the doer of an action. Now, in this commandment, now we are looking at object. So basically, object is the opposite of subject. So as we said, object pronouns are pronouns that function as a receiver of an action. If we discussed in the previous lesson that subject are the doer of an action or the performer of an action, definitely object is a receiver of an action. So object pronouns are pronouns that function as a receiver of an action. So example include him, her, them, us, me. Him, her, them, us, me. So these are object pronouns. Him is the objective case of he. Then her is the objective case of she. Them is the objective case of they. Why me is the objective case of I. So that is that about object pronouns. Now, what about reflexive pronouns? Reflexive pronouns are pronouns that reflect actions back to the subject. They are pronouns that reflect actions back to the subject. In fact, that is why they are called reflexive pronouns, just like the reflection of your image in a glass, the reflection of your image in a glass. Okay, so reflexive pronouns reflect action back to the subject, and they are also called emphatic. They are also called emphatic pronouns. Why are they called emphatic pronouns? They are called emphatic pronouns because they try to emphasize on the involvement of the subject in an action or in an expression. So they try to emphasize the involvement of the subject in an action. So one explains the other. Reflexive pronoun reflect action back to the subject, and an emphatic pronoun explains that they emphasize the involvement of a subject in an action. So examples of reflexive pronoun or emphatic pronouns include myself, which the subject case is I. Then we have themselves, which the subject case is they. And then we have yourselves, which the subject case is you. And then ourselves, which the subject case is we. Yourselves, which the subject case is you. And then itself, which the subject case is it. Then herself, which the subject case is she. Then himself, which the subject case is he. Okay, so that is that about object pronouns and reflexive pronoun. Now, let's take some examples to consolidate and explain the commandment number 27. Again, commandment number 27 states that do not start a sentence with object pronouns nor reflexive pronoun. Okay, so now example number 1 says that me was the one who kept the book back in the shelf. Now that's a wrong expression to make. Me was the one who kept the book back in the shelf. Why is that expression wrong? Because it's starting with me. And me is an object pronoun. And commandment number 27 tells us not to start an expression or open a clause with object pronoun. Me is an object pronoun, is the object of I. So me is starting the expression. Me was the one who kept the book in the shelf, so that is wrong. So the right thing to say is simply just to replace the object pronoun me with subject pronoun I. So the right thing to say would be I was the one who kept the book back in the shelf. And if you want to emphasize on your involvement in the keeping of the book back in the shelf, you just simply say I myself was the one who kept the book back in the shelf. I myself was the one who kept the book back in the shelf. So that is that about example 1. Okay, so example 2 states that Claire and myself went there together. Claire and myself went there together. You might be thinking, what is wrong with this expression? It is outrightly wrong. Why is that? Because we have myself opening the expression. Now, you might also think that actually the expression is being opened with Claire. Now, it isn't only Claire, it's a compound subject. Claire and myself, making compound subject. So if you have to make a compound subject that will open an expression, we mustn't use myself as stated by commandment 27. Don't open a sentence with object pronouns nor reflexive pronoun. So what's the right thing to do there to make the expression correct? We just simply replace myself with a subject pronoun. So what's the subject of myself? The subject pronoun of myself is I. So the right thing to now say is Claire and I went there together. Claire and I went there together. And if you want to emphasize your involvement in the expression, you could also say Claire and I myself went there together. Claire and I myself went there together. But make sure you do not make that mistake of excluding I and then replacing I with myself. So meaning that it is totally wrong to say Claire and myself went there together. Okay, so Claire and I myself went there together is the right thing to say, or Claire and I went there together. Okay, so that is that about commandment number 27. We hope that you've learned something, and we hope that you're going to put them into practice in your written and spoken English. If you are new to this channel, please support our hustle by clicking on the subscription button below this video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you have already subscribed to our channel, we say a big thank you for your love and support always. I will see you in the next lesson.